Our next presenter is another young lady named Susan Nguyen. She is currently a rising 8th grader, and today she will be informing us about her dreams. Please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you all for coming here today. Dreams are the gateways into us. Well, that's what the internet and the wonderful Japanese drama have always said. It's probably all a lie, considering how strange some of my dreams have been. The first nightmare I've ever had was about rocks. Yes, rocks. There was a nice lady rock with a nice flower garden house. There were a bunch of construction worker rocks, building with rocks. And it was a strange setting to be with. The child I was utterly confused as I was suddenly put in between a lover's quarrel between two rocks, the nice lady and the construction worker. What type of person would that make me then? The only recurring dream I've ever had was greatly influenced by my hobbies at the time. No, not anime, but Japanese dramas. Summing up those dreams, they were set in a weird prison with real people and real life. My dog jumped off the second floor balcony. I hitchhiked on a truck. I drove a motorcycle. Ending it all, I ran through the sky in slow motion. It's a bit hard to say whether or not the nightmare or this dream was strange. I must be a strange person. And finally, the most current dream, possibly the most current me, was an odd spectacle to behold. We all not really understand that I find that Pokemon is the essence of the childhood dream. And idols I like are rather wonderful. The most current dream won't lose to any others. The delusional person I am was dreaming up an idol on the school morning news. I chatted with a friend about the situation. Wait, this is way too normal. What is going on? If you are thinking this, yes, it is too normal. The dream starts to degenerate from there. I meet the idol, we go catch Pokemon. Ponyta is actually about the size of a binder, and in the end, Team Rocket will steal people's sleep. Without even giving a good explanation, one can understand the gist of the story, right? If dreams are the gateways into us, then there's probably something wrong with me or the world. Chances are that there's something wrong with the world as in a whole, but my dreams have always been quite interesting. Thank you for being here.
Here is a young lady named Jessie Land, and today she will be informing us about how much she likes writing. Please give her a warm welcome.
I am honored to be here tonight, and I hope that you guys are all happy too. And I always loved writing stories, especially with my friends. I also love drawing comics too. They usually include small boys, adventures, and animals. In one story, a group of friends are kidnapped to a fortress where emotions are removed and children become slaves. Luckily, the friends are missed, and their curiosity triumphs. They soon find out about the horrid truth about all this, and their allies are unexpected visitors. Sometimes people don't respect my privacy, and I end up getting humiliated or becoming a laughing stock for a day. Most people like my stories and drawings, and they compliment me. That's how me and my friends have become popular. Some people became a little jealous and started annoying me and my friends. They say imagination doesn't make a human being, but I disagree, and I hope that others will understand too. Thank you. And I hope we get to know you.
Our next presenter is a young man named Cheyenne, and today he will be informing us about the Premier League. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you all for being here today, and it is a great honor to speak in front of you. So, we have seen many great seasons throughout the course of the Premier League. None, however, have been able to match this season. Every single team struggled, and and only one team to go. That team was Manchester City. They started the season as one of the favorites to win the league, but had a rocky start. They even had to drop their #1 goalkeeper, Joe Hart, to the bench. They also got quite a scare when surprise favorites Liverpool beat them and took the title into their own hands with only 4 games remaining. Unfortunately for Liverpool, they slipped up after a 12-match winning streak and handed the title to City. Liverpool were surprise favorites and ended an impressive season, finishing in 2nd place. They had significantly less expensive side than the title-winning City, but only ended 2 points lower. Top players like Steven Gerrard, Raheem Sterling, Daniel Sturridge, and Luis Suarez rose to the top of their game for an outstanding season. The biggest disappointment of the season was Manchester United. They had won the Premier League the previous season and were one of the favorites to win again. Things were looking up with the arrival of manager David Moyes and new signing Marouane Fellaini, who was another disappointment. Unfortunately, they didn't work out. All in all, they had a terrible season, and Moyes was sacked before the end of the season because he led them to 7th place. Finally, the bottom 3 of the table were a surprise. The teams were Norwich, Cardiff, and Fulham. All 3 of them had greatly buffed up their teams with many new players. Unfortunately, none of them were able to survive this season in the Premier League. All in all, this season has been remarkable, and we hope to see many more like it.
Our next speaker is Byron Fan, and who will be shedding some light to us about the murder of Spider-Man. Please give a warm welcome to Byron.
I'm very honored to be here today. The murder of Spider-Man. On the day of July 4th, 2019, Spider-Man was found under a pile of snow on the bottom of Mount Everest. The tourists that found them said their names were Sandy and Dewey. They said that they found the body because they had brought a camera and were videotaping the wonderful sparkling snow that was sliding off of Mount Everest. Then Sandy, who was recording, saw something that was red and blue fall out of the sky. So he said to Dewey, I'm going to check that blue and red thing that just fell from the sky. So Sandy headed over and found a body, so he called the police with his satellite phone. The police, not knowing that he was Spider-Man, just had a normal checkup. Surprisingly, they could find no reason why Spider-Man had died. When somebody from the tourist group took a picture and posted it on Facebook, reporters from New York came flying in and interviewed the tourists and took even more photos of the dead Spider-Man. Then, the president, who had heard about Spider-Man before, personally went to the funeral of Spider-Man. So, the president suggested that Spider-Man get buried on the White House lawn. But then, one of the reporters asked if there could be a building, the red and blue building. Gladly, the president said that he would personally paint the white building to a red and blue building. So, the date of the burial was November 17, 2020. CNN was invited to the funeral so everybody in the country could see him. So, right when the coffin was taken out and Spider-Man was put inside, the coffin was buried, the coffin lids half closed, Spider-Man suddenly jumped up. The whole United States was shocked by happiness and by the sudden jumping up by a supposed dead man. Thank you for being a great audience.
My name is Jason Rue. He will be presenting to us about homework. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming here today. In schools, homework should still be given to students. Homework keeps students learning new things, keeps them on track, and prepares them for when they're older. Students learn in school, and homework helps them remember what they have learned, or they can learn new things. This will help them perform better in tests. Homework keeps students on track. Teachers and parents can help students if they're having trouble. And homework keeps Homework prepares students for winter order. They learn to be responsible, organized, and self-managed. These skills are needed. In conclusion, I think homework is very important and should still be required. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Kevin Liu. He's a rising 8th grader at Roberto Clemente Middle School. He will be presenting to us about how winter is better than summer. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you for coming, and I'd like to thank Jasper, Edward, Nathan, and Justin, and Jason Ashley for the my speech is about why winter is better than summer. It's really awesome because spending 1 second of summer is like your head is surrounded by gnats, the heat is hurting you, and the humidity is choking you. While currently the northern hemisphere is suffering in what we call summer, the southern hemisphere is drinking hot chocolate and throwing snowballs at each other. Yet some people still have excuses on why they think that dying, burning to death is better than making snowballs. In summer, there are a lot of flowers. Well, in winter, there still is a lot of flowers. And also in summer, bees and wasps and flies come with the flowers. Also, the thrill of watching a sandstorm coming is a lot better than knowing a storm or a hurricane is going to come and might kill you. And also, in winter, it's cold. Well, just wear more. And in summer, please don't take your clothes off. I won't want to see. And I hope you survive summer and you will see the glorious winter. Thank you.